2020. This is Walt Valentine, the chairman of the Tennessee Private Investigation and Polygraph Commission. This is the Education Committee meeting. Madam Chairman, do we have a quorum?
I'll do the roll call if you want me to.
Sure.
Walt Valentine.
Present.
David Brown.
Present.
Doug Shanks.
Present.
Stuart Bain.
Present.
Alan Russo. Let the record show Alan Russo is not present, but you do have a quorum.
Thank you very much. Has everybody had a chance to look over the education requests?
I have.
And if so, do I hear a motion?
Walt, excuse me. Walt, do you mind if we go ahead and read them out for the record?
Yes.
All right. We have Alert, ALERT Mid-South. That was a conference May the 1st of 2019 for continuing education. It was 8 hours. And our investigator, Sean Patrick Dees, is asking to have credit for those 8 hours. He also attended the International Anti-Counterfeiting
We're on another call. Please leave a message and I'll return your call as soon as possible. And thank you for calling.
Record your message.
Okay. It was for 10 hours of continuing education, and again, it was for Sean Patrick Dees. The second one, does anybody have any conversation, anything to discuss about that one? Or those two for Mr. Dees?
I didn't have any issues.
Yes, I do. I wanted to address, while I checked out the Alert Mid-South and the IACC gatherings, they'll look great. But try as I might, the Alert Mid-South gathering, I could only really honestly get about 6 hours out of that, not 8. And so while I don't have a problem with approving the training, frankly, one does not get 8 hours of that, even if one includes the opening 15 minutes, the first half hour registration, welcome and introduction. So frankly, I would suggest that while it's requesting 8, it looks like it ought to be 6. Secondly, the IACC meeting, the letter received from IACC showed Mr. Dees attended 8 programs on Wednesday and Thursday. There was a whole lot more in the 3-day meeting, but frankly, the best I could get out of that was 8.5 hours. So that would be my input.
The 8 or the 6 plus 8 though does give him more than 12 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's correct. He would still meet his education requirement. Yes.
Yes.
So what we're looking at, just so we can have the record straight, is changing Alert Mid-South from 8 hours to 6 hours, changing the IACC from 10 hours to 8.5 hours, but Mr. Dees would still have enough for his continuing education to renew. Is that correct?
That's the way I saw it, whatever way.
I concur.
Yeah, there's more than 12 hours there. I'm good.
Yeah.
There we go.
Okay.
All right, we'll move down to the next one, National Forensic Science Technology Center, digital crime scene photography online. All these 3 that's for the National Forensic Science is online. The first one was digital crime scene photography online for 6 hours. The second one was online for 16 hours, and the third one's online for 16 hours. Do we have any conversation?
None from Stuart.
I'm okay with Commissioner Brown.
Commissioner Shank's okay with it.
All right, we'll go down. Very good. We'll go down to the last one. That is the Tennessee Association of Criminal Defense Lawyers, TACTL. The forensic seminar is going to be held June the 18th and 19th for continuing education, and they want 12 hours. Any conversation?
Commissioner Brown, I don't have any issues with it, other than that one speaker there.
Yeah,
I agree
that
with you,
one
Brown.
speaker's not going to speak. So.
It looks like a
if we take out that one speaker, will they still have 12 hours?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, guys.
It looks like a very good
Everybody's
program.
got a questionable.
Yeah. All right. So, is everybody in agreement with that one?
Yes, ma'am.
And that's coming up
All
this
right.
year, right?
All right, Mr. Chairman, if you would just make a motion to approve all the continuing education that we have for today, May the 19th. We'll do it in one motion if you'd like.
Yes. I move that we approve the Alert Mid-South, the NFSTC, and the TACDL requests for continuing education.
Second that motion,
Mm-mm.
Commissioner Brown.
Oh, okay. No, I need someone to make the motion, not the chair.
Okay, Commissioner Brown makes a motion, we accept these continuing education classes.
All right.
Commissioner Shanks seconds.
Shanks did a second. All right.
This is Alan Russo coming in.
All right, good. Thank you, Alan. Well, let the record show that Alan Russo is present, so I am going to do a roll call vote on this. Walt Valentine?
Yes.
David Brown?
Yes.
Doug Shanks?
Yes.
Stuart Bain?
Yes.
All right. The ayes have it. I didn't include Alan Russo because he was not here for the entire presentation. But the motion carries, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. Anything further on the Education Committee? Hearing nothing. Do I hear a motion for adjournment?
I'll make a motion, we adjourn. Bain.
Second by Brown.
Second.
All right.
Been moved and seconded?
We'll do a roll call vote. Walt Valentine?
Yes.
David Brown?
Yes.
Doug Shanks?
Yes.
Stuart Bain?
Yes.
Alan Russo?
Yes.
The ayes have it, and we're adjourned, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, now what do we do for the next 22
Well,
minutes?
I literally hate to hang up because we're finished, Dustin. But we cannot start the meeting until 9:30 because that's what's on the schedule.
Right.
You want us to reconnect at 9:30?
I mean, you can just take a break, or if you want to just leave the computer running and then come back at around 9:30, you can do that.
Well, this one speaker could, abuse you. Teach a little bit for the next 20 minutes.
I'll reconnect.
Which speaker was that?
Oh, Stuart, they hurt you, buddy.
I'm glad I'm in the mountains of Gatlinburg.
It's a hard group here, guys.
Okay, Dustin, how do we just stay on and go about our regular business?
I mean, I guess the people on the phone, if they wanted to hang up, they could, and then just call back in, they can do that. But if you're on the computer, you can just leave it running if you want, minimize the screen. That's up to you.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you got some on the webcam?
So I can come off of.
Dustin, this is Stuart. A question for you. If this laptop, which I don't know as well as I know my desktop, goes to sleep on me, because I can't change the administrative controls, am I going to lose you?
No, you shouldn't.
Okay, thank you.
I'm just gonna turn off my monitor and speakers. That way I'll be ready back at 9:30.
Sounds
My
good.
camera rather, speaker.
Cody, I'm going to pause the recording. Just let me know when you want to start it up again.
All right, thank you.
Yes. Now, do we have it recorded now?
Yep, we're live.
Okay, if we're live, let's go. Good morning, fellow commission members, staff members, and honored guests. Today's date is May the 19th, 2020, at approximately 9:30 a.m. I'm Walt Valentine, Commission Chair of the Private Investigation and Polygraph Commission. I'll now call to order the meeting of our commission. Executive Director Cody Vest, would you please call the roll?
Thank you. Walt Valentine,
Here.
David Brown,
Here.
Doug Shanks. Doug?
Here.
I
I'm here. My mute.
Stuart Bain,
Present.
Alan Russo,
Present.
Robin Johnston. Present. Kendall Barham,
Present.
Charles Bradley.
Present.
All present. You do have a quorum.
Thank you, ma'am. The next item on our for approval is the agenda.
Yes,
I'd
I'd
like
like
to
to
make a
ask you-
motion to approve the agenda.
Yes.
I move that the agenda be approved, Alan Russo.
Okay. Do I hear a second
Shanks,
to the
second.
motion?
Kane, second.
Okay. Shanks
Okay.
seconded.
Excuse me. I missed all that. Alan made the motion, and who did
Yes.
the second?
Shanks seconded.
Shanks.
Doug. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
You'll have to call the roll, Cody.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay. Walt Valentine,
Yes.
David Brown,
Aye.
Doug Shanks,
Aye.
Stuart Bain,
Aye.
Alan Russo,
Aye.
Robin Johnston. Aye. Kendall Barham,
Aye.
Charles Bradley.
Aye.
The ayes have it.
Okay. Motion carries. The next item on the agenda for approval is the minutes of the last Education and Commission meeting. Has each member received and had time to review the copy of these minutes? And if so, is there a motion to adopt these minutes?
Alan Russo, I move the adoption of the minutes.
Commissioner Brown seconds it.
Okay.
Bain has a comment.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Stuart Bain?
Yes, thank you. I watched the January meeting a couple days ago and reviewed the minutes. The Education Committee approved the Kansas Association of Licensed Investigators. 16 hours was requested. I heard on the video that 12 hours would be approved. However, the minutes say 16 hours of continuing education.
Okay, we'll make that adjustment to the Kansas Association of Licensed Investigators. That's their 2020 conference. They had requested 16 hours, but we only voted to give them 12 hours. Is that correct?
That is correct.
A change will be made in the minutes.
Bain has no further discussion.
Alan Russo,
Any further?
Alan Russo, I'll amend my motion to include the changes in the
I'm sorry, I
Shanks
couldn't.
seconds it.
I
Alan
amended
just
the
included
motion.
the minutes,
Yeah.
the amendments.
It's been moved and seconded to amend the original motion. All in favor, say aye. Or no, I guess we'll have to go through the roll call.
Okay, let me make sure I understand that. We are doing a roll call to accept the minutes with the one change from the 16 hours to the 12 hours for that class.
That is
Yes.
correct.
All right. Walt Valentine,
Aye.
David Brown,
Aye.
Doug Shanks,
Aye.
Stuart Bain,
Aye.
Alan Russo,
Aye.
Robin Johnston,
Aye.
Kendall Barham,
Aye.
Charles Bradley.
Aye.
The ayes have it.
Okay. Next on the agenda is the legal report by the staff attorney. Do we have?
No, sir. We have election of officers first.
Okay.
If you, I mean, I'm sorry to interrupt you, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. With the election of officers, are you going to handle that, or would you like me to?
Yes, sir. I'm on attempt to do that.
Okay.
If everyone is ready, everyone was told that there would be elections this morning. So I am calling for nominations for the commission chair.
This is Charlie Bradley. I nominate Walt Valentine for the position of commission chair.
All right, we have Walt Valentine that has been nominated for the chair, and the nomination was made by Mr. Who was that that made the motion? Charles Bradley. All right. Is there a second to the nomination?
Alan Russo, I second.
Are there any other nominations for the chair for the Private Investigation and Polygraph Commission? All right. Is there a motion to elect Walt Valentine as commission chair by acclamation?
So moved, Commissioner Brown.
All right. There's no additional nominations then. Walt Valentine has been nominated to be the commission chair by, let me see who, Charles Bradley. Now I'm ready to take a roll call vote. All in favor? David Brown,
Aye.
Doug Shanks,
Aye.
Stuart Bain,
Aye.
Alan Russo,
Aye.
Robin Johnston,
Aye.
Kendall Barham,
Aye.
Charles Bradley.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Congratulations, Mr. Valentine. You can serve again as our chair for the Private Investigation and Polygraph Commission.
Okay.
Right,
What did I do to deserve this?
Well, we took a vote,
You
and
didn't
they all
nominate
voted.
nobody.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, the only other
All right.
position, excuse me, I'm talking over you. I don't mean to. We're going to have to take a nomination for the commission for the vice chair. Do we have any nominations?
This is Bain. I nominate David Brown.
Alan
I
Russo,
second.
I second.
Y'all just go too fast for me. Okay, so we're calling for nominations, and David Brown has been nominated as the vice chair by Stuart Bain. Let me write this down. And it was seconded by Alan Russo. Are there any other nominations? All right. Is there a motion to elect David Brown as commission vice chair by acclamation?
So moved. Bain here.
Bain. All right. Okay. So I need to do a roll call. The motion will carry if I do a roll call vote. Walt Valentine for David Brown to be vice chair. Walt Valentine.
Aye.
Doug Shanks.
I'm sorry,
Aye.
Cody. I don't mean to interrupt you. This is Ashley.
Did
Did you get a second to that motion to vote by acclamation?
Yes. Alan Russo seconded it.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. I'm sorry. Walt Valentine.
Aye.
Doug Shanks.
Aye.
Stuart Bain.
Aye.
Alan Russo.
Aye.
Robin Johnston,
Aye.
Kendall Barham,
Aye.
Charles Bradley.
Aye.
Motion carries. Now David Brown is the commission's vice chair. Congratulations to Walt Valentine and to David Brown, chair and vice chair.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Now
we shall continue then with the legal report. Do we have a legal report by the staff attorney?
Well,
I believe
yeah,
you
that's
do,
Jesse.
Jesse. I'm not sure if you're muted. It doesn't look like it, but we can't hear you if you're talking.
Might be sleeping.
Yeah, hold just a moment. Let's see if we can get him back online. Well, it looks like Jesse's having little problems there. Can you do this, Ashley? Only 2 complaints.
I can. And Jesse, if you're able to jump back in, just take over. So I'm going to read through the legal report. I'm not sure, Cody, are we reading the report into the record?
Yeah. That's what he did with the alarm board.
Okay.
So what little bit we have, then we don't have it these 2. Let's just go ahead and read them in.
Okay. Complaint number 1 is 2019-103-151. Summary is as follows. Complainant stated that the respondent is his ex-wife. Complainant stated that he had contacted a utilities company about setting up service, and the company found that there was a previous account that was set up 10 years ago in complainant's name. Complainant confronted respondent about this issue, and he stated respondent made comments about the parties' respective credit information and a statement that he believed to be a veiled threat regarding her work and skills as a private investigator. Respondent paid off the utilities account. Complainant also had concerns that he believed respondent had tapped his phones after he said his phone started acting, quote, funny, end quote, and he was receiving text and calls from unknown numbers. However, there was no evidence that respondent had done this or that his phones were tapped. The parties were never in a business relationship. Therefore, the only way respondent could be disciplined by the commission is if she engaged in deceitful or fraudulent behavior. This appears to be more of a domestic issue as it relates to whether the respondent should have removed complainant from the utilities at her home after their divorce. Jesse's recommendation, and it sounds like he's on the phone now, is to close.
That's correct. I would say for some reason my phone with the state was not picking everything up, so I could hear everyone, but I couldn't speak, so I just used my personal cell phone. And Ashley, I just heard you finished the summary of that one. So does anyone have any questions?
No questions.
No.
Do I hear a motion?
Chairman. This is
Yes.
Alan Russo. I move that we accept the recommendation of council.
Shank seconds that.
Okay. Moved by Russo and seconded by Shanks.
All right. We'll
Do
have
I hear any discussion? Madam Chairman, would you call the roll?
Walt Valentine,
Aye.
David Brown,
Aye.
Doug Shanks,
Aye.
Stuart Bain,
Aye.
Alan Russo,
Aye.
Robin Johnston,
Aye.
Kendall Barham,
Aye.
Charles Bradley.
Aye.
The ayes have it.
All right, thank you. So we'll move on to the second case, which is complaint number 2020303021. The summary is that this case originated as a consumer affairs case that was then referred to the Private Protective Security Program for investigation, as the respondent was seen in a security officer uniform, and the individual who made the complaint did not believe the respondent had a valid license. The complainant was able to find a business license for the respondent, which he provided with his statement. Upon investigation of this complaint, it was determined that the respondent does not have any type of security or private investigation license. Respondent stated his company does not provide security services, so that complaint will likely close. Respondent stated that his company acts as an advocate for individuals who may have been wrongfully incarcerated. In order to complete this work, respondent completes a power of attorney form with an individual or his or her family so that the respondent can access and retrieve documents to assist in advocating for the release of incarcerated individuals. Respondent stated his primary duties are research and document retrieval, which may include documents from law enforcement and courts. Respondent also stated he is not paid for his services, but he is reimbursed for expenses incurred in his investigation. Respondent's business has been in operation since 2003. Previously, it operated under a different name and was run by a pastor. Respondent did not provide a list of how many cases it has worked since it has been in operation, but he did state that the business has helped 4 individuals get released from prison and prevent another 500 from being incarcerated. My recommendation was to authorize formal charges with the offer to settle this matter through a consent order and a $250 civil penalty for violation of Tennessee Code Annotated, Section 62-26-204.
Okay, do I hear a motion?
Shanks makes a motion to accept his recommendation.
Commissioner Brown seconds it.
Okay, any discussion?
I have a question. This is
Okay.
counsel, did the individual explain why he was in a security guard uniform?
He did not. For the guard uniform, he just stated that that was the uniform he wore. It had kind of like that security-looking style, that A-type uniform, I guess is what they call it. And he had a badge on that had, taped over the word security. So I think it was just something that he felt was professional.
This is Bain. I'd like to just say that while it appears that the work this person does is noble and valuable, and he's been in operation for 17 years, I sure would encourage him, if I could, to get a license.
Yes, and that's usually put in our letters that we send to encourage settlement of these cases as well.
Excellent.
And stop wearing a uniform.
Yeah, that too.
He's posing as a guard of some sort, when he's wearing a uniform like that.
And I think that was the confusion with the, why it ended up going to the other program originally, because they did think that he was acting as a guard. He was very adamant that he doesn't do any guard type services. So I will, when we go through the private protective security program complaint again, look to make sure that the uniform, would not be in conflict with any of those statutes. But I think it's more of, it's like a dress shirt basically, and the badge that he had worn, he tried to tape over everything to make sure that it didn't look like he was law enforcement or a guard. But I'm not sure why he was wearing that if that wasn't what type of service he was trying to provide.
Yes, if he's wearing a badge, he's posing as something.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Exactly.
Okay. Any further discussion? Hearing none, Madam Chairman, would you call the roll?
Walt Valentine,
Aye.
David Brown,
Aye.
Doug Shanks,
Aye.
Stuart Bain,
Aye.
Alan Russo,
Aye.
Robin Johnston,
Aye.
Kendall Barham,
Aye.
Charles Bradley.
Aye.
Ayes have it.
All right, thank you.
Thank
and
you.
that concludes the cases on the legal report.
Okay. I presume that we do not have anyone wanting to appear before the commission today.
No, sir, I don't have anybody listed.
Okay. Do we have any administrative matters?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I have just a couple.
Okay.
We'll go straight to the March on your reports I have sent out for the Private Investigation Polygraph Commission. We still have 2 open positions. Alan Russo is still serving, and we will have 1 open that, who was that? He moved to Florida.
Ric Flair.
Larry Flair.
Larry? I was not going to say that. I was going to wait and let somebody else.
I'm sorry.
That's fine. No, I always have a problem with that. And then we had canceled the April the 23rd meeting. We didn't have any new complaints. We didn't close any complaints. We had a financial meeting, and I meet with with Jesse and Ashley basically all the time. So that's all I had, unless there was a question about the monthly report. We can move right on to the budget if you'd like.
Please do.
Do you have the March budget?
Yes.
All right. You'll see that you are in the black, $24,252.
How do we do
that? Any discussion there?
Yeah. How did we do that?
I think that's great. We had to cut a lot of expenses, gentlemen, ladies. It's basically all I can tell you. I cut expenses. But you were in the red as of November, and that's what hurt us. But we knew whenever I went up to on the hill that what hurt us the last year was when we had to pay for those new contracts.
Yeah.
For the exams to PSI, so that's why I had to ask the Hill to extend this for another year so I could prove to them that we would not be in the black. So we're looking pretty good here as far as I'm concerned, unless something strange happens.
Cody, excellent job.
Well, thank you. I don't know that the chair may have to go with us if we get, and whenever they come back into session in June to finish this up. I don't know what's going to transpire, but I don't anticipate being deregulated unless something happens, at least not due to the fact that you're in the red. You're only in the red that 1 year. So we will have to monitor this very closely, but I will do that for you.
Thank you.
All right. Legislative updates. Do you have any, Ashley?
I do not. Like Cody mentioned, session kind of stopped with the pandemic. We believe that they're going to start up again in June. Whatever legislation was moving kind of all paused in March. So we're still waiting to see what they're going to do, what they're going to pick up, and what we're going to possibly propose for next year.
All right. Application review. We didn't have any applications to review. We don't have any correspondence. We've already had the education, but it was all carried.
Hey, Cody, you took your headset off, and so your mic is kind of far away now.
Oh, I'm sorry. Let me try that again. Thank you for bringing that to my attention. I did take it off for a moment. We did the budget review. There's no legislative update. I mean, we just did that. There's no application review. I don't have any. No correspondence. And we've already did the education committee. They had agreed to what was presented. I don't have any unfinished business, and I don't have any new business.
Do we need to vote on the education report?
We do? Okay.
Yes.
There you go. Keeping me straight there. All right. We will.
Cody.
Sorry. Yes.
Cody, you included a report from PSI study. Is that supposed to be talked about? Or did we talk about it?
Yes, Cody, you wanted to go under new business. It's the PSI results, email.
I don't have that in my packet.
It looks like it's regarding reviewing the test again because it hadn't been done since 2015, Cody.
Yes.
All right. Shauna, you want, since I don't have that in front of me, you want to go ahead and take that?
Okay, I can.
All right.
Let me get over here. And you want me to send it to you real quick? It should
No, you can go ahead. Yeah, you can shoot it to me, but go ahead and do the presentation, please.
Okay.
Or should we vote on the education review first?
I suspect that's next.
Yeah, after we get to this, maybe.
Oh, okay.
All right, Shauna, go ahead.
Okay. Oops, I'm sorry. Hold on just a second.
Just where you show the pass rates improving.
Yes, I'm sorry. My computer's just froze. Hold on.
Mine went down. Yeah, mine went. Yeah, we can hear you, but mine went down too. And now.
Oh goodness. Okay.
I know. I was afraid to try to restart and I'd lose everybody.
Okay, hold on just a second. I'm gonna have to. Okay. I think.
All right, just bear with us. We got a little kink in everything. We were just moving along too smoothly. So what was it? Just.
Oh, you're doing great.
I do apologize. Mine is completely froze up. I cannot get it to go anywhere.
So you don't have a. Do you have a copy of that, Ashley?
I do. From what I can see, it appears that PSI, Cody, and you can correct me, did you request that they send you the pass rates from the past 3 years?
Yes, I did. I wanted to see what was happening in this industry.
Okay. And as Commissioner Brown said, it does look like the pass rate has always been above 60% for the past 3 years. I believe the chairman and Cody discussed reviewing the actual exams because they had not been reviewed since 2015. That will be a cost to the commission. And so I think Cody wanted to present it to the commission for you all to discuss reviewing it and whether that's something that you all want to look into.
This Commissioner Brown, from what I'm seeing, the PI company pass rates increasing. However, the private investigators is just about staying the same.
Yes, PSI had contacted me about going over these again, and that's why I had asked for this information because, like I said, we just had 15, but it's been 5 years with this new contract as well. And with everything that was happening, I have put this to the back burner as far as PSI is concerned.
Yeah.
And they look pretty normal to me. I didn't know if the board wanted me to invest the time and the money to look at these exams again, or maybe put that off for another year.
Let's put it off for a year. That's my opinion.
How about the other commission members? Any discussion?
Any of the laws are still the same, so they haven't changed, correct?
Right. Nothing has changed on that exam.
That's right, and the law in Tennessee has not changed.
Changed. So I make a motion. We just put it off for a year and see what happens. Yeah.
Okay. I don't think I need a motion for that. I just wanted to talk to everybody about that. And is there any other? Is everybody in agreement with that? I should say.
Yes.
Had any problems with that? All right. Sorry about that little glitch.
Just a brief thing from Bain. I just, being the old assistant professor from years back, I wouldn't want it to go a whole lot longer without at least a review. But next year is great. I'm okay with that.
All right. I'll need to take a look at that and see just how much money that's going to cost. Now that we hopefully can do these by WebEx, Zoom, or whatever format that we're using, we won't have to come in and get a room somewhere and pay. But usually the proctor is there, or a representative from PSI is there, so it does get rather expensive. But I will check into it.
Good idea.
For next year.
Yeah.
And see how well we're doing with it.
And how that is possible to reduce expenses, given the ability to do online testing.
Yes, I did have a conference call with a couple other boards seems like PSI has moved to the Philippines, and they've been here for a while. So we did have a conference call on that and I didn't bring that up because they're not ready just yet. This was just a preliminary, but they're talking about their online proctoring for licensing. And I can give you just a second. I've got my notes here. I might could help you tell you a little bit about that. What I was really interested in, it was the remote proctor for the final exams are being done by different colleges. The state of Washington, the insurance division or department is using the online with PSI. That's the first state that they put on. You would have a live proctor. The proctor would have 1 to 8 students. They would be watching them at the same time. The security measures is to check if they're when they check in to verify their ID. They will be scanning the room 360 degrees at different times. There's no set time on that. They want to make sure no one else is in the room. And they have a way they want you to lock down your browser so you couldn't download any program or look at anything else. They're having a problem with some of the exams, not ours, but simply due to the length of the exam. Some of the exams are 8 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours. Ours is normally a 2-hour exam. And then if you had to take a restroom break in the building, they could control you coming out and going back in. How are they going to do that with you being at home? Open book exam, they're still working on that problem because if you go to PSI building, they check the book before it comes in. When you go in, they'll check your book when you come back out. So they have some other things that they need to still work on. So they're not ready for it, but we're working with them on that while it's these different regulatory boards. So that's my update on that. But yes, Stuart, I will take a look at that. Yes, I do agree, and that's why PSI called us because of the new contract. We just went ahead and extended the contract. But under the circumstances, I just had so much going on, I just didn't think we could take the time right now to do that. But hopefully we'll get to that next year, and we'll put it on our agenda next year.
Disagree. I do not disagree.
All right, thank you. Did we have any unfinished business? Did we have any new business?
This is Zane. I'd like to bring up the discussion I heard in the January meeting, the discussions we've had in the October meeting were discussions about elevating the ranks, increasing the numbers, and rewriting some things in our rules. I've done some work on that and have a few ideas that I'd like to share. I may be off base, but I'd like to share a few if I can. I'll go mute and hear what you have to say.
Well, I'm in favor if you want to go ahead and tell us. I don't know about the other members. Yes,
go ahead and speak.
Well, as I attended the October meeting and then heard the January meeting, there's quite a bit of discussion on, how do we go about getting a couple of changes to perhaps ease or soften a restriction or two. And one of the things that came up was the question of 2,000 hours. As I look at the state law, and I'm looking at 6226-206, sub number 6. And this is the one that says, possess or employ someone who has 2,000 hours. And then the big word in there is or. And the word is or has 1 year experience, related experience or education in a related area approved by the commission. So the law is, in my view, the law is offers two options: employ someone who's had 2,000 hours, or hire someone or have someone who has 2,000 hours of verifiable experience, or as an combination of education, training, and experience satisfactory to the commission. So now when I go to the rules, specifically 1175-01-.19, the verbiage that is used in our rules infers that 2,000 hours has to be there. And I think that is why we keep getting this disconnect or confusion. And so I would like to see, we working on revising a few of these rules, and changing one other. I entertain your ideas.
Well, this is Walt Valentine. Cody and I appeared before the state board and mentioned this, and they are taking it under advisement, as I recall. Is that what you recall, Cody?
Yes. Whenever we sent that up, we had the 6 apprentices. They did, as far as I can remember, without looking at my documentation, and Ashley correct me, but I believe they did take the cap off the number of apprentices that you could hire. The second part was to remove the 2,000 hours, and that didn't move. Is that correct, Ashley?
Mostly, yes. They did in fact draft legislation to remove the 6 apprentices limit from the statute, and that was moving. Of course, with the tornado and then the pandemic, all of that shut down, so it kind of stalled. So we're hoping that they pick that up again in June. They did discuss during the meeting, the GovOps committee meeting. I think, Cody, you brought up the 2,000 hours, and they wanted some more time to look at that law to figure out exactly what change needed to be made. But again, everything kind of stalled in March. Again, our hope is that they will pick that up in June. If not, we're going to try to propose that again. And Commissioner Bain, just to go back to your comment about the rule can be adjusted without a change in the law. Of course, we can't exceed what the statute says. We may need to put some clarifying language in there to specify that it can be the 2,000 hours or the 1 year of verifiable experience for an investigations company. So that is something the commission can do. I think we're kind of holding off on that until we saw if the actual statute was going to change. But if that doesn't change, we can always make that correction in the rules.
This is Bain. I guess my largest point is it's less important to me about the 2,000 hours and more important that the law offers that option of 2,000 or satisfactory education, training, experience to the commission to start a company. And so but the rule we rewrote suggests that it's a little too reads a little too restrictive. So that's my take on this. And yes, I would move we amend this and the 6 apprentices and the third thing is per the discussion in the January meeting to adjust the 1175-0208, which is about you only got 30 days to get your training done, get your training certificates in. I'm making a specific recommendation about that, but actually I'm willing to wait. I mean, I'll table this in anticipation of the legislature, but it's less important about the 2,000 and more important about making sure the option is clear in our rules.
Absolutely, and again, just like I said, in my opinion, would probably need to see what the GovOps committee and what the legislature is going to do next month when they start session back up, just to see if they pick up the six apprentices part, because that will require a statutory change for us to change it in our rules. I'm completely fine with beginning the work of drafting the clarifying part on the company 2,000 hours or 1 year of experience, And then I think I'm going to need a little bit of clarification on your reference to 1175-02-.08 and what it is you think needs to change there so that I can work on that draft language as well.
Here's my idea. I concur with Commissioner Brown in that, we're all adults and we need to get our training done. And if we don't, we make that mistake occasionally. Well, there are those of us who do. However, the rule could be adjusted slightly that if you're past 30 days late, you will cease work immediately, do no more hours, do no more billable hours until you get your training done. And extend that to perhaps no more than 3 to 6 months tops on getting the training in place and done. That's my thought.
I wanted to wait to see if
actually.
You did. I was waiting to see if there were going to be any other comments from the other commissioners before I responded.
Wide open to it.
But you can go online and get your 12 hours in 2 days on online training. Why would we give them 3 months, 6 months because they were lazy and didn't keep up with their requirements?
Well, I understand where you're going with that, and I believe there is room within the rules to allow somebody who is in the hospital, on military duty, offshore, etc. So I'm more concerned about clarifying the 2,000-hour deal in our rules.
Yes, let me kind of make that. From my understanding, a private investigator has 2 years to renew. Anytime within those 2 years, you can do your continuing education. It's just whenever you expire, when we send a notification out, you have to have it done within 30 days. Unless I'm looking at that incorrectly.
That doesn't seem unreasonable to me.
I'll remove that suggestion.
Thanks for that clarification, Cody. The only other thing that I noted on that would be that's essentially the grace period for the continuing education. But if they don't have that done, then they don't qualify for renewal, and there's a grace period attached to that. So whatever grace period we give for continuing education can't really extend beyond the license grace period. So 90 days probably would have been too much, but it sounds like the commission is going to hold off on that particular amendment at this time.
Yeah, I will. Bain says yes. I will hold off on that.
And we can always bring up before the commission if there's an emergency, such as a hospitalization or out of the country or whatever their circumstances are. And, we're not going to be totally strict on that. But they can bring it and request an additional time if that's the case.
All right, we did.
I'll start working on that draft language for the investigations company with the 2,000 hours. And if we get word from the GovOps committee or someone in the legislature that that's going to change, we'll make sure to bring that to the next commission meeting.
Okay, thank you, Ashley.
All right.
Director
Did we ever?
Do you have anything more?
Well, did we ever vote on the education
report? We did not.
All right. I'll go ahead and do that if it's okay with you, Mr. Chairman.
Yes. Do we have a motion to approve
a vote? Mm-hmm. We're looking for a vote for that. The committee voted to accept the Alert Mid-South for 6 hours instead of 8 hours. International Anti-Counterfeiting Coalition, 8.5 hours instead of 10 hours. National Forensic Science Technology Center, 6 hours. For their scene photography, they also have a crime scene investigation for 16 hours. Then they have another introduction of crime scene investigation for 16 hours. Oh, that's all for continuing education. Then we also had the Tennessee Association of Criminal Defense Attorneys for 12 hours. Do I have a motion? We have to accept.
Commissioner Brown moves we accept the recommendation of Education Committee.
Okay.
Shank seconds that.
All right. That'll be a roll call vote here again. Walt Valentine.
Aye.
David Brown.
Aye.
Doug Shanks.
Aye.
Stuart Bain.
Aye.
Alan Russo.
Aye.
Robin Johnston.
Aye.
Kendall Barham.
Aye.
Charles Bradley.
Aye.
The ayes have it for the continuing education. All right. That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Do we have any continuing education participation forum? Anybody appearing for that?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay. That concludes our agenda. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
Commissioner Brown.
Motion to adjourn. Beat you.
Commissioner Johnston, second.
Everybody
Okay, I've got. Wait a second. What I put down with the motion was Brown and Johnston second. Is that correct?
Yes.
That works.
Close enough for government work.
All in favor for the roll call. Walt Valentine.
Aye.
David Brown.
Aye.
Doug Shanks.
Aye.
Stuart Bain.
Aye.
Alan Russo.
Aye.
Robert Johnston.
Aye.
Kendall Barham.
Aye.
Charles Bradley.
Aye.
The ayes have it, Mr. Chairman, for adjournment.
We are adjourned.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank
Y'all
you,
have a great
members. And Cody.
Y'all be good. Thank you all.
Aye.
Thank you. Justin, you just
Thank
turn
you,
it off?
Cody.